and whoever ends up being our city council representative. And if somebody else wants to like take on that responsibility, I would feel less worried about it. But I just don't want to have to answer those questions of like being faced with irate neighbors while I'm trying to pitch this idea to them.
Right now the whole scene is based on the sound of bass, and basically what's going to happen, the walls are going to vibrate, because here it's worse than where I was at, where we had the whole place soundproof, but the whole building vibrated, and that vibration went through the walls into the next door neighbours. And at this point in time, I think it's a really stupid idea.
Vicki and Margaret have agreed to be responsible for this event. Personally, I'm confident in them. Does anybody object to this event happening?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, now, all right, the next step is, what can we do to alleviate your concerns? Is your
One of two things. I don't think either of them can be, but have them on a different night, because I agree with you that, like, fucking 13 hours of noise is much less considerate than 6 or 7. Or have it end, at an earlier hour. Have it end, within the confines of what we usually set, which everybody's already said is, totally unacceptable for a raise.
Okay. What are your...
Essentially, it's the same. I basically believe that it needs to either be on a different day. The problem is, to me, is that no matter how responsible you are for the event, if someone complains and it becomes a huge issue, and it affects whether or not we get to keep this building, you can't be responsible. And that would upset me a lot, that we're at a state where we're very, a lot can possibly happen, and it's something simple that seems like it wouldn't be a problem could suddenly become a problem.
Well, decisions are made by consensus. So all the subgroups decide on their own what they want to do. So the poets have nothing to do with who the hardcore people book for the hardcore shows. And the punks don't tell the poets how to run their poetry readings. If there is a problem between two groups of people, we deal with it at a collective meeting where we try to make decisions by consensus. So we try to work out a compromise that everybody can agree with.
Well, let's see if we can get a consensus on the proposal as changed by Steve. So could you restate what the proposal is now?
Basically is that we have this event, and in order to ameliorate these negative aspects, there's a problem with the authorities. The event gets shut down immediately, regardless of whatever it is, whether it's like some drinking thing, whether it's a drug thing, whether it's a neighbor's noise complaint. If there's any hassle with the cops, it gets shut down immediately. The other thing is that we have to figure out a threshold level of sound, and they're responsible for making sure that that's not exceeded. If a compromise and consensus proves to be impossible, then somebody can say, let's make the decision by majority vote.
And you're not allowed to vote. 5 are in favor. And everyone who's not in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. So by a vote of 5 to 3, it has been passed, which is a democracy in action.
There we go.
All right, next order of business.
So again, we appreciate y'all coming out, and money's going to ABC No Rio. And I would encourage you not only to come to the show tomorrow, just because it'll be fun and it's for a good cause, but I would encourage you to go see bands play at ABC No Rio and see if you can help out with volunteering in any way, donations in any way. I'm not going to go into the whole spiel about the city and all that stuff. Neil wants to do that. But do you have those letters back there?
Neil has a bunch of stuff.
You? No, Neil will have stuff tomorrow at the show at ABC No Rio. But
Good
it's
job.
an alternative venue. It's an independent venue. It's not just for music. It's for art and
DIY.
stuff like that. So it's for revolution. Yeah.
on doing an ABC, the only reason that I feel that we should do an ABC benefit, personally, is because of Neil. Because Neil's put a lot into this place, and Neil is our friend, and if it wasn't for Neil, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, I don't think that any band has any business doing a benefit for something that isn't in their town.
Mm.
I mean, I'm from 7 hours south. The fuck does ABC have to do with me? We haven't played ABC, 4 years.
Yeah.
We play different places. So for us to play ABC is almost pretentious. But it's only doing it because we're trying to help out a friend. Not for any other reason. Not because we want to be cool, not because we're trying to gain credibility. Just for Neil. If we never played ABC, it wouldn't bother me. I don't care.
And have you been approached by any major labels?
Mm-hmm. Many.
Yeah.
We've said no to all of them.
Why?
We did go up to see Sony and talk with Sony and see what that was all about. Why? Tons of different reasons. I personally don't want to be on a major label because it's not punk to me.
Mm.
It's just, and it makes more. I mean, monetarily, it makes more sense to stay in an indie. So why would I go to a major if I'm trying to make a living? Because I mean, there is a point where I have to make a living at this, or decide not to do it anymore.
So
It makes more sense to stay on lookout to try and eke out a living than it does to go to a major and not make any money and not make a living. I mean, there's tons of different variables to everything. I personally just don't think it's punk. And, punk to me is not being on a major label. I don't want to be on a major label.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to say, I would give everybody in this band $1 million to sign for that, and you can do one record, and if it flops, it flops, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, I'll sign. I will. I'll take $1 million. And I'll do a record, and if it hits, cool, whatever. If it flops, whatever. And everybody will get back together and start a new band and keep going. I don't give a shit. And if $1 million is going to keep me safe and secure for the rest of my life, being a fucking goof, I'm down. I mean, we've turned down $1 million. And it's really, I don't think there's a lot of bands that can